Hello, this is Elizabeth Clare Brewington with Discover Brightside, the video podcast and multimedia network. And I'm delighted in my studio to have someone whose books fascinate me, and he is Harold. So, Harold, share with us your journey and tell us about these books that you've written.
All right. My recent book is My Bully, My Aunt, and I Found a Gift, and I'll walk you into it. I am Harold Phifer, the author from Columbus, Mississippi. I live in Dallas now, but I am from Columbus, Mississippi. Um, I always wanted to write books and put it off, and the biggest one was, I guess, talking about my memoir or how it all started. And I had a dysfunctional past in which I buried and didn't want to tell anyone. And I buried because I realized that when you tell, when you ask for sympathy or what or compassion, you may get it, but those same people won't invite you to their party, you know.
That's so true. Yeah.
So I learned to just suppress it so I can fit in. And so fast forward, I was in Afghanistan back in 2016. And of course, I hadn't written anything. And we're out in this major explosion, suicide bombing by the Taliban. And they had a modus operandi of they'll bomb a place, and once they bomb it, they'll run in and shoot, whoever's left until they were, you know, killed or, became extinct. So once I survived the bombing, I'm sitting there disoriented, like, okay, two eyes, I can feel my nose, two, three, four, five, 10 fingers. All right, I guess I'm all here. But now, uh, part two is probably, in the process. So I'm trying to hide and make my way back to the safe room. So while all this is going on, my life started to flash before my eyes, and I started to think about being 14 and even younger. And the weird thing, I never wrote that book. I'm about to be executed, and I never wrote that book. My kids, nobody would really know the story. So I started praying, and God, if you let me out of here, I'm gonna write that book. And obviously, I made it out. And that first book was Surviving Chaos: How I Found Peace at a Beach Bar. Well, springboard that to my bully, my aunt, and her final gift. People kept asking me about one of the characters in Surviving Chaos, and one of the characters was my aunt, and how you know greedy and how abusive she was. And people kept asking. That's when it hit me. She deserved a book too. And that's how we got to My Bully, My Aunt, and Her Final Gift.
And that sounds like a really good character because many of us have aunts that bully us, and then they played a role in our lives in formation. So I
Mhm.
thought that was really interesting. And so you've answered three of my questions, which is the Mississippi story and the book and surviving chaos. But now Rise and Read, Free Press. Tell me a little bit
Mhm.
about that.
I write fiction too. Okay. After I wrote the first book, Surviving Chaos: How I Found Peace at the Beach Bar, I started feeling juices. Hey, I can do something different. I can even do a 180, which it is a 180 from um, Surviving Chaos. I write on a pen name called Dean Conan, and those stories are quite salacious. Um, they're all made up, and so I needed to separate. And part of separating was creating my publishing company. So all the genuine, all the nonfiction is Harold Phifer, and all the made up is under Dean Conan, all under Rise and Read Free Press.
Wow. So that sounds like very logical. And then you've done a lot of community work as well. So how does Rise and Read and Free Press and these two amazing books, how is that serving the community?
You can They can learn a lot with resilience, dealing with depression because I was depressed most of my life up until about 28. I hid it well, but I never felt comfortable, never felt in myself or how we said in my truth until I was about 28. Always felt uncomfortable, insecure. But once I got a certain part of my career, once I connected spiritually more with God, um, I started to feel more at peace. And it took a while. It did take a while. Um, but I've tried to give back. I've coached basketball. I even coached baseball at a young age, but I coached basketball many schools in Memphis and in Houston. Um, I've given a lot of books away, donation. Um, I've done speeches in high school. I try to find little ways to give back.
Yeah, and I think your book can really benefit because bullying, saying mean things to people, it really can make your life so different from people who speak positively and give encouragement. And so I think that's a big bold step because that's what attracted me when I saw the book cover, and I said I have to talk to this author. So, Brightside Book Club encourages literacy. One of my goals is to promote people to read more. And Harold has come to the book club, and we want to do more with Harold and his books. So, write us a comment. Tell us what you think. And the books are available everywhere on Amazon. And also, Harold, what is your website where people can reach you?
Riseandread.com.
Rise,
RISE. Mm-hmm.
right, just like
RISEANDREAD. Riseandread.com.
So go to Rise and Read today and get these books, and then book him to speak at your workshops or your or your book clubs, because these are great conversational books that spark a lot of questions and make great conversations. I am here with Harold Phifer, and we hope that you will enjoy this interview and write us a comment. Thank you for watching Discover Brightside.